One of the most exciting aspects of tech conferences is meeting the innovators face to face, those who are shaping the future of technology. And today I had the pleasure of sitting down with Brett Weigl, Senior Vice President of Product Management AI at Genesys. And he's been at the forefront of integrating AI into customer experience platforms, and his insights into the latest innovations at Genesys are nothing short of fascinating. So in my conversation today, we explore how AI is revolutionising the customer journey, how it's enhancing personalisation and improving overall customer satisfaction. But I don't want to reveal too many spoilers. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Denver, where you can join myself and Brett in conversation today. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Name's Brett Weigl. I've been at Genesys for 3 years, and currently I lead our AI product management team. So we're putting on all of the great features for our customers and make customer experiences better, make agent experiences better as well.
And obviously you've been running around for the last few days and having a lot of conversation. What would you say the key themes for anybody listening to this podcast that can't attend? What were the key themes?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it really comes through that everyone has a lot of excitement and trepidation about AI, but everyone has a mandate to figure it out. So the conversation volume has gone through the roof. You can hear that in my voice, and my team as well. Everyone just engaged in nonstop conversations. I think everyone's at an evaluation point of one form or the other, and everyone's trying something currently as well. So it's really exciting to see. Relative to last year, I would say that we're much further along in terms of the awareness, right? And that's really been driven by Gen AI and all of the news that we're getting every day. So
there was a lot more caution last year, I felt.
I agree. Yeah. And less awareness, right? And certainly there's a long way to go. I think that's another theme is just there's a long way to go on fluency in education. There was a customer I was talking to just about an hour ago that, they really have an initiative just to get basic fluency among everyone, because what happens is they get a lot of magical ideas from the enterprise about what it can do.
Yeah.
And the reality is it can only do maybe 12% of what they're hearing, right?
Yeah.
So we need to educate people more broadly about, what it can do, there are things it can't do, and where we are right now.
And I'm curious, how have you seen customer perceptions of AI, especially in the realm of chatbots and virtual agents? How's that evolved according to your recent study, and what factors contribute most to those current expectations?
So I think that the enthusiasm for self-service has definitely had some organizations start to speculate, when can everything be automated? When can everything be self-service? I think that's very industry specific. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to say that I'm going to automate everything in retail with a relatively simple set of consumer-facing products. At the other extreme, death benefits or other sensitive issues where just by choice, we don't want AI to have a primary say. So I see a range of investments where sometimes what's happening is we prove out with human in the loop with a co-pilot or an assistance feature, and then we later automate. And then the automation on the self-service side sometimes is still more rules-based or uses the rules as guardrails so that then we can structure what we say to customers about specific issues, right?
Yeah.
And maintaining that escalation capability to make sure a human can get involved if, we really get stuck. Yeah.
And as we've said, there is a lot of excitement, but I think a lot of businesses know what they need to be doing. They know they need to be something. They've got those mandates, but what are the key challenges that they're facing when integrating AI across that entire customer journey? And how are you helping address some of these issues with your latest AI-powered solution?
Yeah. So, I think one aspect that is really important is being in the cloud at all. Becomes really important because there's, a range of things you need to do. But in general, many of the other software players that you use are cloud-based, right? And so having this on-prem to cloud transition for some pieces, particularly if you need to do them in real time, that becomes a barrier to change. I think getting data sets in the right place is really important so that we can use intent signals and segmentation of customers to fine tune what we're doing. That's the reason why Genesys Cloud has a huge investment now in journey management as almost a, that's sort of like the, if it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, they go together, right? You need the one for the other because we need to be able to bring those signals to the platform. Even if they originate from outside of Genesys, we can create that comprehensive picture. And then now with that context, we can engage more effectively and we can automate more effectively. So that's really important. I think, governance and the general policies around what your legal responsibilities are is a really interesting area. And it's where, we stay in lockstep with what's out there. EU AI Act being probably the leading one in the UK. They're sort of formulating their own version of that.
Yeah.
ANZ, they're doing things down there. Japan's doing something. We have the Biden executive order with various things coming out of NIST and Commerce and other federal departments at the moment. So staying abreast of that and having attestations about what we're doing and not doing, really important. And that's where we can help our customers to be more transparent. Model cards, data cards, these things can help customers understand what we're actually using and doing. And then they can vet that. We can, share that with them openly, and then they can make a decision about whether that works for their business. So,
and another big topic here is journey management. And for people that have not been able to attend, can you elaborate on how that new native journey management capabilities of Genesys Cloud work seamlessly with Genesys Cloud AI to deliver these insights into customer behaviors, because it all seems to seamlessly work together?
Yeah, I mean, so basically any customer journey that's powered by our orchestration, it's mostly interactions. Sometimes it's automated, sometimes it's humans. All of those traverse various flows on our platform. And what we do is we allow the platform to basically collect all of that data. And we collect not only the, just the raw signals that there was a conversation, but we're also taking into account what choices were made. Was there a transfer? If there was an IVR involved, what selections were made? If there was a bot involved, what was presented, and then what selection was made? So we have a sense of the branching behavior. The journey analytics side of it helps you to start to layer on your meaning to that, meaning these are the KPIs I'm driving. And now I want to look at that relative to those behaviors, right? So what did cause negative CSAT? How AI then uses it, it's twofold. One is it uses all of that intent and segment behavior that we collected up front. You were on this area of the website and you tried these pages out. That means that you actually might apply for a mortgage, and that means that we'll handle you differently than someone who is, looking for automated bank teller locations, or they might be interested in opening a savings account, right? So these types of things are different behaviors, and we can detect that. But then what we can also do is we can start to correlate the intelligence we have about conversations with the journeys as well. So now you get this additional layer of what was discussed, right? And so you get a lot of nuance about, what we've traditionally called topics, with our speech and text analytics, starting to correlate back to journey moments. And then that gives you that overall optimization capability as well. Gives you a sense of where should you pay your attention, and probably deploy more AI solutions to help those experiences be better. So
and just expanding on that, how are the insights from journey flows, journey analyzer, how is that helping organizations maybe better pinpoint behavior patterns, and how does that data enable more predictive and proactive approaches to those customer interactions? What are you seeing here? Yeah,
I mean, I think that, it depends, of course, on the journey, but, sort of in a classic retail example, you would look at kind of in funnel analysis where people fall out. What we're able to do is, because we have a range of options that we can deploy to help customers who want help or need to interact, we can start to track the different paths. And really what we want to do is marry up how the data actually does flow, meaning what sequence of events actually happens for that customer that we've identified. In terms of raw volume, in terms of where they ended up ultimately, we want to layer that and compare that with what's important to the business. So did we drive CSAT? Did we drive larger cart size? Did we have abandoned purchases and things like that? It helps you not only with what we power, but even maybe with things beyond us too, because you might want to take some of those signals and then say, do more marketing automation to people who abandon the cart. You might want to increase the amount of ambient self-serve help options or even human options that are midstream. So it gives you that opportunity to really sort of fine tune what you're already doing. And you can kind of see and work back from, well, if I wanted to change this variable in terms of how my KPIs are coming through, I now have the ability to work back to where are the spots that actually are causing the trouble. Right?
I know it's early days yet, but what role do these journey management tools, or what role do you see them playing in refining conversational AI models? And how does this directly translate to the more effective self-service and virtual agent interactions? And I appreciate it's a huge question. There's so much going on in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a loop there, right? Which is sort of, you want to kind of look at the actual conversations, what's discussed. What's discussed relative to a journey is a lot more interesting in many ways, because now I know what the original intent was. We can start to marry those things up. We can also start to spot the things that we don't cover well at all. So one of the most interesting things on the looking at conversations after the fact is we can start to recognize that there's an emergent problem. Imagine that you're in a very large organization where the marketing department has rebranded something and not told the operational side that they've done that, or they ran a campaign and didn't coordinate that with the contact center owner. These are classic examples, but I mean, they still happen, right? So you have this emergent signal. It might be that there's something in public that's actually a product defect that you want to take advantage of, sort of just knowing that and being able to go fix it with your own product folks, R&D folks. So having that kind of sort of loop really helps you. The other thing that it really helps you with is sort of what kind of content do you need to better serve both the agents and the customers who might be struggling. So if I can find points of struggle or start to measure customer effort relative to those conversations, because you can have extremely long conversations that actually are intentionally that way, right? If you do advisory services and you track that in Genesys Cloud, they may be very long conversations that are not problematic, right? They're just long. But you could have, regardless of length, problem spots where we know the sentiment is bad. We know the KPIs that results are not great. We can work back to that and say, can I construct better experiences? Can I better inform the agent with more appropriate content? Can I deflect up front in some cases as well? So we can create out of that. And, Gen AI will play a role in that going forward about, I want to create content about a range of problems that I know are, they're embedded in the corpus of conversations I've got. And I can now start to benefit from the intelligence we can throw against that. So.
And personalization is another big topic right now, especially in personalizing the customer journey, etc. So what impact do you see this new level of personalization having on brand loyalty? And it's probably too early to tell exactly, but is there any stats or anything around that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the stats are, more related to more tactical things like, hey, you know what, I used our predictive engagement solutions to more, the example we use of Ethiopian Airlines where they used predictive engagement to insert ambient self-service, to offer help through a bot at stages where it seemed like in selection choices, the prospective flyer was going to fall out or they were stuck, right?
Yeah.
They didn't immediately proceed. And the lift they saw was something in the order of magnitude of, I think it was 43% or something in that order, that range, right? So that's of those people who were going to fall out, 43% more of them checked out, right? When you look at how that all relates to brand loyalty, it's a little hard to say because you need to, there's a qualitative side to that as well, right?
Yeah.
But in general, when we survey, you've seen the stats we've used, in the State of CX survey we did last year, we see a very clear correlation with, the brands that know me, that track me, that, give me control over that tracking. Of course, we have to because of GDPR and other things, but to allow for that personalization to be a conscious act. And I'm greeted by name and, I have a sense of, okay, there might be multiple things going on with me. And I think this is one of the areas where brands really struggle is treating everything as, well, you can only have one problem at a time, right? But, we all know that's not the case. And I could have 5 problems and I'm happy about 3 and the 2 other ones I'm really upset, right? So having this multi-point ability to fine tune what we're doing assuredly drives loyalty. A little hard to measure outside of the surveys we do.
No, I get that. And with journey management becoming native to Genesys Cloud, any teasers or future innovations that you foresee in AI-powered customer experience orchestration? It's a big buzzword here at the moment at the conference, but how do these align with the current industry trends and expectations and your own ambitions?
Yeah, I think that part of the conversation is really a broader range of predictive or next best action. So I think that there is the more that we can run through the system, the more context we bring to each, sort of customer's journey. We're going to be able to pick up on those signals. We'll be able to run more aggregate numerical analysis, and the AI behind that. Out of that, we'll be able to, through scoring and other methods, offer more predictive forms of action. So it could be more predictive outbound. It could be predictive automation of things that we think should be automated that are repetitive. And that's an area that we're actually experimenting with quite a bit in terms of features that will come to our co-pilots and to our virtual agents, allowing essentially Gen AI to play a role in spotting those patterns and beginning to prove them out in terms of writing the automation that can be then reused, right? And that can be a very specific journey. As long as it's happening enough, we can use that. And then what we'll do is in our platform, we're working really hard to make sure that segment and intent and outcome, which we've had in some products like predictive engagement for some time, as journey management features become ubiquitous, and every feature that we ship listens to them, and every feature that we ship emits the right level of data so that, okay, I did this, but I did this relative to an intent for a customer in this segment, and here was the outcome. And then you get this body of data that's super rich, and we can do plenty of things with it. So
I think that's a beautiful moment to end on. But before we do, Xperience is coming to a close now. You're going to be getting that plane ride home from all the conversations you've had, every keynote you've spoken at, and you've seen, and all the questions you've been asked. What are you going to be reflecting about on the way home?
Yeah, just I think the biggest thing is that this is the year of AI. It's very clear. We've made a strong move this year to really say we're an AI company. But what's even better is that, customers are coming to us for that conversation. So I'm really buoyed up by that and, also inspired to go back home and work on the roadmap. So yeah, it'll be busy days after hopefully a few days of rest.
Love it. And for anyone listening, wanting to find out more about Genesys, about AI and all the work that you're doing, any particular part of the website you'd like them to check out?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to check out the products drop down. We have explanations of all of the AI stuff there. Also in the resources and in the Genesys Knowledge Center, where we have our resource hub for Genesys Cloud. All of the services are, sort of described in detail. But we also have useful overviews and things like that where folks can learn more. And then, of course, on our blog, we have kind of more interesting content that our wonderful media team and writers and product managers and all sorts of people are collaborating on all the time. So we're getting the news out that way as well.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Appreciate it.